From the nation's capital in Monrovia, good evening and a pleasant welcome to Channel 6 News on Sky Television. I'm Josephine, representing. Barely 7 days after the House had ratified two separate loan agreements for road construction, the National Legislature Tuesday passed a joint resolution mandating the executive to secure more loan finances for road construction of critical corridors in Monrovia. If signed by the president, all 15 counties will benefit from the process, which is estimated at over 20 major corridors in the country to be paved, including Soul Clinic, Artington, Mount Crawford in Mount Sorado, Charlesville Marshall in Mangibi, just to name a few. The resolution was read by the Deputy Clerk of the House of Representatives in its 36th sitting of the first session of the Lower House.
Resolution mandating the executive to secure loan finances for road construction of critical corridors. Whereas the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) was agreed to by heads of state and government in September 2015 to set the world on a path towards sustainable development through the adoption of the 2030 agenda. Whereas the 2030 agenda for sustainable development that has emerged consists of 17 sustainable development goals, of which poverty eradication is the overarching objective of this new agenda, alongside the promotion of economic, social, and environmental development. Whereas Article 8 of the 1986 Liberia Constitution provides for policy towards ensuring opportunities for improving the livelihood of our citizens, to include health and welfare facilities. Whereas the attainment of the SDGs requires domestic resource mobilization, and it is established the economic growth pivots of frequent movement of people, which suggests that roads connectivity is a casualty to economic growth, and that recent borrowing to connect our cities is in the overwhelming interest of the Liberian people. Whereas Article 34D 3Rs of the 1986 Constitution states that, quote, no loans shall be raised by the government on behalf of the Republic, or guarantees given for any public institution or authority otherwise than by or under the authority of the legislature and admins. Now therefore, with the members of the House of Representatives and Senate, do hereby authorize the President of the Republic of Liberia to employ all legal and legitimate means in securing loan financing agreements for the construction of paved roads leading to the 15 counties of Liberia.
Meanwhile, the Lower House voted unanimously to endorse the resolution and subsequently sent it to the Senate for concurrence. Making a motion on the floor of the House of Representatives in Tuesday's session, Montserrat County District 13th Representative Sir Joseph stated his feeling about the resolution, terming it as urgent. Yet now is Representative Joseph making the motion in plenary.
Considering the need of the people of Liberia, basically one of the major priorities of this country is road network in our country, and we are happy that today such a resolution can come on the floor by our honorable men who are accompanying of this resolution. I therefore move that, considering the basic needs of our country and considering that these resolutions have met the threshold and all members have signed this resolution, I move, if I can obtain a second, that this resolution be received and endorsed in totality and sent to the Liberian Senate for concurrence, and I therefore move.
Our distinguished speaker, Deputy Speaker, fellow colleague to the movement, I will be ready to vote if any motion prior to reconsider such a decision will be tested. So instead, Productivity. Are you not ready to vote? All those in favor making them put your right hand. Y'all have numbers slow. Who say you vote again? But what's you vote? I can depend on all of that. You voting up? Numbers slow.
You have just watched House of Representatives voted unanimously to endorse the resolution and subsequently send it to the Senate for concurrence. The Ministry of Labor has alarmed over the unprecedented wave of child labor across the globe. The ministry said hundreds of millions of girls and boys throughout the world are engaged in works that deprive them of adequate education, health, as well as basic freedom, whereby violating their rights. Giving an overview of the World Day Against Child Labor in Monrovia, the Minister of Labor, Moses Corley, said more than half of the hundreds of millions of girls and boys are exposed to the worst forms of child labor, such as work in hard environment, slavery, and illicit activities, including drug trafficking and prostitution. Minister Corley noted that all children have the right to be free from all forms of child labor, safe and healthy to workplaces.
More than half are exposed to worst forms of child labor, such as work in hazardous environment, slavery, and other forms of forced labor, illicit activities such as drug trafficking and prostitution, as well as involvement in armed conflict. All children have the right to be free from all forms of child labor, and all workers have the right to a safe and healthy workplaces. Globally, 541 million young workers between the ages of 15 to 24 account for 15% of the world's labor force. They sustain up to 40% more than non-fatal occupational injuries than do adult workers or workers older than 24, and workplaces hazard can even pose a threat to their lives. An estimated 152 million children aged ranging between 5 to 17 around the world are in child labor, of whom 73 million perform work which is hazardous because of its nature and circumstances in which it is carried out. Many factors contribute to hazardous child labor and a high rate of work-related injury and ill health among children and young workers. This campaign aims to accelerate action to achieve Sustainable Development Goal, the SDG, Target 8.8, which is protect labor rights and promote safe and secure working environments for all workers by 2030.
The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection has re-emphasized the growing wave of persistent non-support child labor, child rights abuse, rape, among others, as alarming situations in the country. According to the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Wilhelmina Sedi-Tad, 2018 statistics gathered so far at the ministry shows that more than 37 cases involving children abandonment, street children, rape, among several others, are experienced by children around 5 to 15 years. Serving as keynote speaker at the program, marking World Day Against Child Labor under the theme, Young Worker Safety is Paramount. Minister Tad noted that children have been used as breadwinners of their families, something according to her is an obstruction to their education.
Children in Liberia face insurmountable challenges ranging from abandonment, persistent non-support, child rape, susceptibility to violence and abuses, hunger, as well as relatively low quality parenting and education. In the first quarter of 2018, the juvenile unit at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection which is the ministry that has the mandate to provide protection and decent life for Liberian children, recorded 27 cases, which include sexual assault, theft of property, child conflicts, abandonment, street children, and rape. Of this number, there are 17 females and 20 males, ages 2 weeks to 17 years. Dejectedly, statistics show that child labor, approximately 5 to 14 years, still remains alarming in Liberia at 20.8% according to the UNICEF 2012 statistics. We hope we will get more to the statistics that reflect what is happening in this 2018. In urban areas, children are seen selling in the streets, while those that reside in the rural areas are engaging in undue agriculture, fishing, and mining activities, especially in hazardous environments. Our rural children are also employed in homes to do domestic work, which puts them at risk of physical and sexual harassment. It will interest you to know that about 39.2% of Liberian children around the age range of 15 to 17 years have experienced physical violence. Also, 3,323 Liberian children lost one or both parents or primary caregivers due to the Ebola virus disease, according to the Ministry of Health and UNICEF reports. In furtherance, report from the International Labour Organization shows that only 3.5% of children worldwide enjoy effective access to social protection. And almost 2/3 of children globally, 1.3 billion children, are now covered, most of which live in Africa and Asia. These displeasing social issues define the extent to which the welfare of our children are being damaged. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection recognizes that the well-being of children are just as important as the well-being of women and girls, people with disabilities, vulnerable groups, as well as the elderly.
Well, it's about time now we take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you more developments. Welcome back. Wreh County Representative Francis Dopo has written the plenary informing that a body of his alleged humiliation by officers of the Ministry of Transport and the Liberia National Police. Explaining the rationale behind his communication, the lawmaker accused the Ministry of hindering the workings of the Liberian people on its joint vehicle inspection exercise. Representative Dopo said while en route to session, he was allegedly stopped by the officers for no reasons and was later asked to go after he had placed a call to the speaker for intervention. Yet now is Representative Dopo explain more in Tuesday's session.
Let me inform you that part of my legislative duty for representation was undermined today because prior to coming to session, I have delighted to honor an invitation from a radio station of which my constituent and citizens of Liberia were prepared to listen to me regarding the Ebola loan agreement. The fact that I was held for half an hour by a transport officer who refused to identify himself to me and requested that I get down from the car and talk to him, that his action was on the basis of the instruction received from the Minister of Transport and the Liberian National Police, that all vehicle, I don't know his definition of all, whether he means even the vehicle of the Speaker, the Senate Pro Tem, the President of Liberia, the Vice President, where he said all vehicles should be inspected. This incident occurred this morning at about 8:30 a.m. at the mouth of the Gabriel Johnson Tucker Bridge in Valtown. I believe, as indicated in the article 42, this is a form of detention to stop my vehicle or the vehicle of the Deputy Speaker or the Speaker in any way while en route to session is an arrest, is a detention, and that's a gross violation of the Constitution. And I believe Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues, that it could be any of you today or tomorrow. And if you continue again, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleague, I'm not sure you will plug the Pinsway or the Boulevard route. I'm not sure for those who come from Wreh, we can make it to session. Irrespective of the fact that I'm being remediated, I'm also concerned about the process, how it's being handled. This is an attempt to disrupt our session, an attempt to humiliate us as honorable people.
Meanwhile, plenary has taken a decision to invite the Minister of Transport on a contempt charge and to appear with his legal counsel, including the officers involved, as well as the Director of Police, to answer what their actions should stop lawmakers from doing the Liberian people's job. Scores of lawmakers in Tuesday's session expressed their sentiments in the same fashion as being humiliated by officers of the LNP and Transport Ministry. Making a motion, Montserrat County District 8 Representative Wreh called on Lower House to take concrete action so as to set precedent for future occurrence.
And let me respect the fact that he was being very respectful and obedient, because honorable powers could abuse power. And he chose not to abuse power, but rather to use the appropriate theater. And that theater is the National Legislature and the floor of the plenary. Having said that, during and after session, especially when we are seated, by the very constitution, the organic law of our country, no individual can obstruct the function of a sitting lawmaker while in session. That is the biggest provision that provides protection for us as sitting lawmakers of the Republic of Liberia. And trust me, this is the first branch of government, and the dignity of this first branch of government must be respected. There are evidence to show there are so many people who ply the streets of Monrovia with sorry, they are not stopped. Sometimes when some of our colleagues are coming to work, they are stopped probably because they don't ride with sorry or coming to work. We cannot condone this. And in my view, this even transcends the police, it even transcends the Ministry of Transport. There is a regulation or a rule that even provides for a request to the Justice Ministry for the smooth movement of the lawmaker, whether you use sovereign or whatsoever, to identify you. I think the legislature should take example of that and exemplify itself. So I move, if I can obtain a second, that the Minister of Transport, along with his lawyers, all lawyers, appear before this full plenary along with the individual that was in charge of stopping our colleague's vehicle, so they can show cause why they should not be held in contempt.
Mangibi County District 3 Representative Ellen Atto has given an exclusive interview to Sky News, highlighting of achievements since she was elected. Representative Atto told Sky News that she made some quick interventions after election in Mangibi County because of the urgency. Road connectivity has been a major challenge to the people of District 3, Mangibi, but Representative Atto said she will push for the pavement of roads in her district during the county sitting. She spoke to my colleague Haji Masale.
Yeah, those things that I did currently are things that were actually very, very urgent and needed urgent attention. Like, for example, during the campaign period, I had a mobile clinic. So I know how it was able to reach out to the people. It helped them a lot. And there was this outbreak that they called BCS, and it was very, very serious. So immediately when I was the representative elect, I was able to lobby to get some medication and medical supply for the team, because I know what they are faced with. I know how many persons died during that short period. I know families that are victims because of that disease. So the best thing I could do was to come to help them. And the second one was the road rehabilitation from the 26th gate to the police station. That road was very, very terrible. I know the amount of accidents that occur on that road. I know how many persons that are sent to Wreh Hospital to get treatment. Some of them are even sent to Monrovia, especially the pregnant women. So I saw it prudent enough to take the initiative because I had the means, so I was able to do it. I feel that whatever the case is, when we talk about Margibi, everywhere should be touched, especially the major roads. So we all know the bridge situation that have been there for I don't know how long. So including Firestone, that's the only road that we use from the 26th gate to the police station, and that road is now okay. So having that road paved is going to be good for the people. The amount of accidents that occur from the motorcyclists, it will be reduced. That road is terrible.
There's an argument that Firestone uses that road frequently than even the citizens. So Firestone is supposed to take responsibility of it.
That's correct. That's correct. But according to them, it is not in their contract. I personally went to them as the lawmaker of District Number 3. I asked them to allow me use the machine, and I will provide a fee to go over it again after I alone did the first rehabilitation. They told me now that they don't want to do it, but they got their priorities where they got the rubber trees. So I can't say no. As I speak now, I'm trying to see how I can try to go over it again before the rain gets severe.
So yeah, what may be the remedy? You alone can do it. Are you taking it to the county sitting? Maybe that could be some of the priorities for the citizens to decide.
I was thinking in that direction, but with the resolution today, that's what I wanted to make sure, and I saw that it's actually in it. So I rest my case because I saw it, and I know that that road will be part of it's part of the resolution.
She's Representative Ellen Atto of Margibi County District 3. The Vice President of the Republic of Liberia has come under strong criticism for comments made in Bond County to local government officials. The leadership of the Liberty Party, Unity Party, and the Alternative National Congress have jointly reacted to Vice President Joel Howard Taylor in reference to replacing commissioners of Bond County who refused to join the Coalition for Democratic Change. The three parties expressing their disapproval concerning the issue said the Vice President's statement is an affront to the Constitution that she has taken oath to defend and protect, terming it as a total violation to the law. They therefore call on the government of Liberia to adhere to the laws of Liberia, especially Article 18 of the 1986 Constitution, which states that all Liberian citizens shall have equal opportunity for work and employment regardless of sex, creed, ethnic background, place of origin, or political affiliation, and all shall be entitled to equal pay for equal work. Horatio Gu is the chairman of the Alternative National Congress. He read the statement on behalf of the group.
In a widely circulated statement to commissioners of Bond County, the Vice President threatened to replace all commissioners who refuse to join the Coalition for Democratic Change. To quote the Vice President, "How can two work together if they don't agree?" she asked. "To agree, we must all be on the same side. So if you think you can't make it, tell us. We will find someone else," unquote. For us, same side means the government of Liberia. The most sacred duty of our elected officials is to uphold the law. The solemn oath when taking office is to defend and protect the Constitution of Liberia. According to Article 18 of the 1986 Constitution of our country, all Liberian citizens shall have equal opportunity for work and employment regardless of sex, creed, religion, ethnic background, place of origin, or political affiliation. and all shall be entitled to equal pay for equal work. These exclusionary policies are illegal and have the propensity to foster more division and resentment in our society. Our people still carry the scars of physical and mental hurts that punctuated the country's recent history. Reconciliation remains elusive. The Coalition for Democratic Change was elected to govern in the best interest of the people of Liberia, not to increase the misery of a segment of the population. It is about time that the CDC focuses on growing and governing in the national interest of all Liberians. We therefore call on the government of Liberia, headed by the Coalition for Democratic Change, to adhere to the rules of law. Election to power is not an excuse for violation of the law. We will remain steadfast in defending the fundamental rights of all Liberians to work and earn a living in the pursuit of happiness. We will legally resist all attempts by anyone or any institution to choke those rights that are protected by the Constitution and urge the ruling party to take cognizance of their constitutional responsibilities.
And the Southeastern Development Forum has condemned statements emanating from some critics against recent loan agreements ratified by the legislature. The group sees the ratifications of the loan agreement as a clear manifestation and commitment of President George Weah's led administration to impact the lives of the Liberian people through road connectivity. According to the Southeastern Development Forum Chairman Samson Wreh, the government move is a platform that will eliminate the protracted infrastructure deficit in all 6 counties of the Southeast. Samson Wreh is, however, calling on critics to see the initiative as a gateway to the country 170 years prior for paved roads to enhance the economy.
We who have been victims over a protracted period of time, victim of lack of development in the Southeast, the subsequent beneficiary of this effort to come together under the banner of the Southeastern Development Forum. And our sole intent is to accentuate the negative effect of the long time deficit or that developmental deficit, to accentuate it and tell the critics, the skeptics, the sentimental visionaries, and how you may tell them that their criticism doesn't work what we have gone through over 170 years of underdevelopment. When people's rights have been abused over time because of lack of development. Let me give you an example. Do you know that the 6th county of the Southeastern region, football teams from the 6th county of the Southeastern region do not ascend to 2nd division level because of lack of roads? So you can have regions that is faced with the challenges that are life-threatening, then you be hiding beyond mere bureaucratic rubric. So the issue of ratification has nothing to do with mere the mere passing or failing of bureaucratic test. So that what we try to ascend to it and bring to their consciences that what we are talking about is about life and death. We have come to tell them that if they can help us, they shouldn't hurt us. I think what we should be talking about is how we go into the county, like what the Southeastern Development Forum is doing now is to conscientize the local community with regard to how they appreciate the development that is about to come. Buttress the efforts of our leaders that are about to help us to turn the page of social exclusion, mass migration of our entire community, and cultural extermination that is being carried out because of the lack of all-season pliable roads.
This is how we come to the end of Channel 6 News and Sky Television. Many thanks for watching. Do join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for a repeat of this presentation. My name is Josephine. Wreh. Good night.